The most expensive object in football history isn't a trophy. It isn't a stadium, it isn't a transfer contract, it's a paper napkin. And without it, Lionel Messi probably never becomes Lionel Messi. Somewhere in Rosario, Argentina, in 1999, a boy injected his own legs with a needle every night before he went to sleep. He was 11 years old. Growth hormone deficiency. His pituitary gland wasn't producing enough of the hormone that tells a body to grow. Without treatment, Lionel Messi would likely top out around 150 centimeters, small enough that professional football, even for a boy this talented, became a question mark. The treatment existed. It worked. It was simple. Synthetic growth hormone injected nightly into the thighs. The cost, $900 a month. For Jorge Messi, a steelworker in Rosario, that number wasn't large. It was impossible. Newell's Old Boys had signed Messi when he was 6 years old. They'd watched him for 5 years. Every coach who worked with him says the same thing. He wasn't promising. He wasn't potential. He was actually good at 6, at 7, at 8. And still, when the bill arrived, they said they couldn't pay it. So the family turned to River Plate, one of the most storied clubs in South America, a club that had given the world players of genuine greatness for over a century. Their youth coach Eduardo Abrahamian watched Messi train. He went to the board and told them, "This boy is special, sign him." The way Boca once signed Maradona, take the gamble, pay the cost. River Plate said yes. They told Jorge Messi, "We want your son, we'll cover the treatment. He can live in the club residence." There was just one condition. Newell's Old Boys had to release his transfer card. Newell's said no. The club that had trained him since he was 6, that had watched him grow from a child into something extraordinary, blocked the door on his way out. They couldn't pay for his future, but they wouldn't let anyone else pay for it either. Jorge Messi was not a man who gave up. He started making calls further afield, across the Atlantic. Barcelona's name came up through an agent named Horacio Gagiol, and the pitch was simple. Come to Spain, do a trial, see for yourself. So they went. Messi had just turned 13. He was 145 centimeters tall. He spoke Spanish, and he was Argentine. Of course he spoke Spanish, but Spain was not Argentina, and Barcelona was not Rosario. This boy who had lived his entire life inside one city was now being asked to prove himself in one of the most competitive youth academies in the world. He was the smallest player on the pitch by some distance. What happened at the trial is the kind of thing that sounds like myth, but is well documented. Rexach had spent decades watching talented young players pass through Barcelona. He was not a man given to hyperbole. He caught a glimpse of Messi in one trial game, even briefly, and his reaction was immediate. Sign him. Whatever it costs. Don't let him leave Spain. He went to President Joan Gaspard. Gaspard, without even watching Messi play himself, gave the green light. Barcelona would cover the treatment. They would sign the boy. And then nothing happened. Weeks went by, no contract, no paperwork, no confirmation. Jorge had been in Barcelona long enough. He started telling people, if this isn't sorted, we're going back to Buenos Aires. On the night of December 14th, 2000, Rexach met Jorge Messi and 2 agents at a tennis club called the Pompeia Club in Barcelona. Jorge was not in a patient mood. The conversation reached a point where something had to happen. Some proof, some commitment, something Jorge could hold in his hands. There was no official paper, no contract form, nothing prepared. So Rexach called over the waiter and asked for a napkin, and on it, in blue ballpoint pen, he wrote the terms of an agreement that Barcelona would cover Messi's treatment and sign the boy under Rexach's personal responsibility, regardless of any internal disagreement. The napkin went into Jorge's pocket. It had no legal weight. Rexach said so himself, but it was a man putting his professional reputation on the line, in writing, in public with witnesses, staking his word on a 13-year-old boy from Rosario who weighed nothing on a balance sheet. That napkin sold at auction in 2024 for £762,000. The club had agreed in principle. The president had nodded. And still, weeks passed with nothing, because nothing forces a decision like the paperwork left unsigned and the father preparing to walk out of the room. Rexach understood that at a certain moment, good intentions become worthless unless someone converts them into a deed. He had no form, he had a napkin, and he used it. Now remove that moment. Jorge Messi takes his son back to Buenos Aires. Lionel returns to a country where the club that raised him blocked his exit, where River Plate's interest was strangled by bureaucracy, where every door he'd tried had either closed or never properly opened. He is 13 years old, 145 centimeters, and the institutional football system of his own country has already looked at him and decided the cost isn't worth it. What happens to that version of Lionel Messi? Maybe he finds another way, another agent, another club. club, another country. Maybe the story just takes longer, but maybe it doesn't happen at all. Maybe the boy who became the most decorated footballer in history becomes instead a man who plays Sunday football in Rosario, works a job somewhere, and watches the World Cup on television like everyone else. 8 Ballon d'Or awards, a World Cup, 35 trophies with Barcelona alone, over 800 goals across his career. Those numbers matter, but they are not the point. The point is this: greatness is not inevitable. It doesn't announce itself and force its way into the world. It arrives quietly, in bodies that don't always look the part, in cities that no one is watching, dependent, more than we want to admit, on whether the right person happens to be in the room at the right moment. Rexach was in that room, and Lionel Messi is what happened to this world thereafter. Messi himself once said, "I start early and I stay late, day after day, year after year. It took me 17 years and 114 days to become an overnight success." 17 years, 114 days. Counted from what moment? From the night his father crossed the Atlantic with a 13-year-old boy and a suitcase full of hope, and a man at a tennis club had the courage to ask for a napkin. The margin between those two lives was that thin. The World Cup is coming, and somewhere in it, in every player who made it and in every player who didn't, there are 100 stories that turned on a moment exactly like that one. A coach who saw something, or didn't. A club that paid the bill, or wouldn't. A napkin, or the lack of one. Until the next story, keep watching football, but more importantly, keep looking beyond it.